For many years and many nights, we have lost our brethren. We have lost the people we so cared for. But today, we are not going to lose the people we love. We're going to fight and we're going to be victorious. Because tonight, we're canceling the apocalypse. Again! Pacific Rim is a new movie and it stars John Boyega, Jean Tan, Scott Eastwood. And this movie is directed by Stephen DeKnight and it's his directorial debut. And he's been a screenwriter for Spartacus, Gods in the Arena, where every single scene consists of blood and sex. Pacific Rim takes place 10 years after the first film, and pretty much the Jaeger program is recruiting cadets and preparing them for another kaiju invasion because they believe that kaijus could return, even though it has been 10 years since the last attack. Jean Tan plays this character named Shao, and she's a leader of this industries called Shao Industries, and their goal is to create Jaeger drones where they can remotely control the Jaegers and have them guard the world for another kaiju invasion, so therefore people do not have to risk their lives by piloting a Jaeger. I was a fan of the first Pacific Rim. I thought that movie was definitely on point. I did somewhat enjoy the characters. The characters was kind of one note, not really memorable, but the action sequences revolving around robots versus monsters was the best thing about this film. This film did have a few things different that worked well for it, and a few things different that didn't really go so well. And the best thing about this movie is hands down Jean Tan. Jean Tan was the best character. She had the best performance, a remarkable performance. I'm talking about Oscar-worthy performance. And what I'm doing right now, I'm kind of in my feelings right now because she's Asian. So please ignore everything I'm saying about her. John Boyega definitely knows how to act. Even if John Boyega's in a terrible movie, the kid has some great acting chops that he can elevate a terrible movie to just being a decent movie at best. And that's the best thing about this movie. He brought the charisma, and he also included a little bit of Idris Elba's character qualities inside of his own character. So therefore, when you're watching his character, you actually feel like he's the son of Idris Elba. John Boyega did a good job with his role, but the convictions of John Boyega's character is kind of recycled from the first film when Charlie Hunnam was the main character. Charlie Hunnam's character, he was considered a legend, and the Jaeger program wants to bring him back. Same thing for John Boyega's character. He's treated as a legend, and the Jaeger program wants him to come back. And their character motives is almost identical. And this is one of those convictions that I just knew that was going to happen, and it was very much predictable. Scott Eastwood plays another character, which I forgot his name. East. Scott Eastwood's character was on the edge of becoming that cliche character who just gives the main character, a bad time, but he improved later on into the movie. Another thing I'm really impressed with the Jaegers. They really improved on the fighting styles of the Jaegers, and they showcased them having advanced technology, advanced weaponry. Also, the fight sequences revolving around robots and monsters was definitely a whole lot better from the first film. And this movie had a little bit more contrast. The last film had a little bit of a dread appearance, where some of the scenes is a little bit darker in color. But in this one, it's a little bit more colorful, and the visual effects was definitely astonishing. Also, there wasn't a moment where the CGI was noticeable. The CGI was seamless. When I was watching this movie, I was expecting to see robots versus monsters. When I was watching this movie didn't really show a whole lot of robots versus monsters. There was like one scene where they showcased it, but that was a flashback scene, and that was pretty much like 5 seconds. And I kid you not, by almost an hour later into this movie of watching it, I didn't see no monsters. Like, there were no monsters. Like, I kid you not, like zero, zilch. There was a scene of a robot versus a robot. That's not really much of a spoiler because that was in the first trailer. The kaiju in themselves do appear, but they don't appear until the third act. And this movie was definitely trying to build up for the new generation. Me personally, I just couldn't get into none of the characters. All the characters felt like they were all disposable pieces of meat. you accidentally step on something and you're just wondering what you stepped on, and these are the characters. They're just disposable. They're flat. They're not really interesting at all. There wasn't much of a backstory with none of the characters. I don't even remember none of their names. And also, the story is just downright ridiculous. The writing in this movie was completely odd, because there's times where I'm like watching this movie and then the story presents its execution, and then I'm just laughing out loud and just like, I kid you not, when the story presented its execution and then this big reveal, which I will not spoil, is just makes my sides want to splat. I laugh my ass off. I do not buy it one bit. And then this makes me think, why was this movie even made? This movie wasn't as funny as the first film, and the jokes in here does come up a bit cringy and a little bit forced. And then this one character wants to make a joke about Idris Elba's speech saying about canceling the apocalypse. That right there had opportunity to deliver, but the way he presented it, that joke, it was completely cringy. This is one of the movies you definitely gotta turn your mind off and just watch big ferocious beasts attacking robots. I gotta give Pacific Rim Uprising a Michael Keaton Batman. This is an average at best movie, a fun movie, a movie you can turn off your brain and enjoy. The funny thing about this movie, at the very ending, the movie just ended. I felt like they ran out of budget, so it's like, okay guys, wrap it up. We just ended. I don't care where we at. I don't care. Just end the movie. Just cut. And the way the film ended, it was abrupt. Guys, have you seen Pacific Rim Uprising? What are your thoughts on the first film? Give me your thoughts, comment below, and I'll have more reviews on the way. So guys, if you like everything you see and you agree, click right here, join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in the way. So you have been warned. Till then, ciao.